Today we're going to be talking about saying goodbye to discipline problems. And you know, the source of most behavior problems can be found in one of four areas: facilities and materials, conditions of the home from which your kids come from, student attitudes, and teacher prep. So I'm going to talk to you about each of those four areas in a minute. The first is that you need to make sure that your facilities and materials are really as good as they can be before you engage kids in an activity. Make sure you have the right number of supplies, the right amount of supplies. Make sure that the room that you're in doesn't have a lot of distracting noises, that it's not too stuffy or freezing cold. And prepare your materials in advance so that you're not busy, sitting around getting stuff ready when you could be engaging your kids. That just is kind of a time waster. And also make sure that the activities that you have will take the right amount of time. Some things will only take 2 minutes, and if you've got 20 minutes to fill, that's usually not a great thing. So make sure your facilities and materials are really great before you get started on anything. Second thing I want you to be aware of is sort of maybe the home conditions of the children who are arriving to your small group. They may have a lot of stuff going on in their personal life. You may know about it, you may not know about it, but a good way to get to know them better is just to ask them about, hey, tell me a little bit about your family. How can I pray for you? And as you pray during the week, ask the Lord to give you a heart for each child. When parents, if they come to pick up their kids, get to know them. Ask them how their week was. Make sure they know your name. Ask them what their name is. Just start to develop a little bit of a relationship with them. You can even ask them, hey, is there anything that I can pray for you for during the week? That way you get to know them a little bit. Just try to really figure out who are the people in your kids' lives. What's going on with them during the time that you're not with them, and think about ways that you can be supportive. Another really big factor in managing kids is kind of student attitude. Really be a student of your students. Really strive to get to know them. What makes them tick? What do they like? What do they really not like? What sorts of positive reinforcements do they respond to? What really seems to motivate them? As you get to know them better, you'll learn more how to touch their heart, how to keep them engaged, and really even how to tamp down negative behavior. So just really try to get to know your kids a little bit. And then finally, the last thing I want to touch on is preparation for you as a small group leader. It's really invaluable for you to show up about 10 minutes early to prep your room, to get supplies ready. Maybe you have a group of other small group leaders that you pray with. Prayer is really important. If you don't, just take a minute or two before your time starts to pray for the kids in your group and for the Lord to reveal, what's on His heart for the kids to learn that day. Define expectations within your small group. Let them know, what does good behavior look like in our group? What does it sound like? What are the things that I expect of you? So that when kids come into your small group, they know this is what's expected of me, and here's how my teacher really wants me to behave. And then finally, look over your material before you show up. I know that sounds pretty basic, but sometimes, and I know things are busy, but even if you take 10 minutes beforehand to look over your stuff, you're going to feel so much more prepared. So whatever prep time you take is going to reap huge benefits as you're teaching your small group. So hopefully these pointers will help you in understanding, what some of the root causes for some discipline issues are and how you can address those in a really positive way. And that's your latest tip for raising kids in Christ.